other thing which I loved in the book, because it was enabling, could you tell, those who are listening or reading this interview of yours, that what you mentioned about the perk that you got, that which came with the job of a CEO, that of the use of the private plane, how it freed you up. Tell us about that.
Well, PepsiCo in the US, for example, has about 125, 130 manufacturing locations all over the place in small towns. So to get to a place, you've got to go to a big town and drive for an hour and a half or whatever. Our customers are located, like our retail partners in many, many parts of the country. And you have to visit state governments, federal governments. Then when you travel overseas, I could go to China and be there for 5 days and visit 7 cities. And if you really want to use a CEO's time optimally, if you don't give them the use of a private plane, there is no way that a CEO can have a life, because you spend more time in airports and then you're delayed in meetings, because if a plane is delayed or you're caught in traffic, it's over. The whole schedule is messed up. The wonderful thing that PepsiCo did is gave CEOs, in fact, gave it to me while I was president, the use of the private plane. And that was a liberator, because, first of all, I didn't have to pack economically in a suitcase and then sit there ironing clothes in my hotel room wherever I went. Second, I could pack by city. So if I was in China for 5 days, or in Asia Pacific for 10 days, I could pack by city in separate bags and take out just that bag when I got to the city. Third is, I could be productive. I didn't have to worry about who's looking over my shoulder at my work. I could have meetings on the plane. The plane was a flying office. People would come on the plane just to hold meetings. And when one meeting was over, if it was a long flight, that group would go to the back of the plane, and the next group would come. So it was a very efficient use of time. And that allowed me to come back home at some reasonable hour and not be completely wiped out, and start working, to help the family, the kids, and spend some quality time with my husband. And so I think the pressures, the incredible pressures of the the president and the CEO job were somewhat addressed by the use of this perk, the availability of this perk. Believe me, some people might say it's elitist. It is, but it's a required elitism.
And for those who haven't got there yet, I think the lesson from your book is use what you've got. If you've got great neighbors, co-opt them. If you've got wonderful family in India who wouldn't mind taking time off to help you raise your kid, use them, right?
And use all of these technology tools that are now available. Get yourself a fantastic setup, have all of these tools available, have the right lighting, make sure that you're in a quiet place, and use these tools to the fullest, because there's only one good thing the pandemic did. It accelerated this technology development. And now you and I can talk via a streaming device, as opposed to, having to go into a studio or having to come to your place in India to talk. We can talk through this particular medium. So I think that we should all redo our lives to see how we can spend a little bit more time at home and leverage all these tools to be able to get our work done at the same time.